Okay. All right, are we on? A bit too soon, probably. Yep. Oh, that's right. Check. See if that helps. Okay. Frame that up a little bit better. Oh boy, everybody's just pouring right in. Alrighty. Neo Seeker, Spam Man, Zachary Eager, Valor, Gunslinger, Homely, Koshik the Dog, Spam, Thirsty Nerf. Alright. Boy, oh boy. Welcome aboard, everybody. As the audio okay? Should be okay. I reckon it's okay. We got the furnace right behind the camera, so it might be making some noise, but it'll shut off in a little bit, and then we'll be a-okay. Panda, how you doing, Chris? Nathan Blackburn. Quite a sizable crowd already. Guess that means there's not much going on was it Thursday? Today's Thursday. Boy, oh boy. As the title suggests, my wife went out with some friends for the evening to go hang out and do supposedly Christmas shopping stuff, but they're probably just going to go hang out, which is totally cool. And so I thought, well, what the heck, I'll get a little streaming in, since I don't know how much kind of video and or streaming time we'll be able to get between now and the end of the year. So there it goes. The furnace is off, and I feel like I'm yelling. So. Just got back from Orlando. Oh boy. How's the weather out there, Spam? Lunch break in Australia. Weird. I mean, it's okay. I mean, Australians can eat lunch. That's totally fine. I just finished dinner and it's dark outside and I should be winding down for the night, but that's okay. Trico, how you doing? Mr. Nathan, how's a fine man like yourself doing tonight? I'm doing just so well. Spam, pouring rain down there. We had a fair bit of rain over here as well. Kind of nice. Wish it was snow under the circumstances, but I'm willing to take the less than not quite so cold temperature and get rain versus being miserable cold and having snow, but we'll take what comes because there's not much else we can do about it. Phone blast. Hey, you yourself, to whom am I speaking? How is the stream doing? I know last time and periodically we have kind of skipping and stuttering issues. Is things streaming pretty okay this time so far? Michelle and Addie, holy smoke, got the whole family in town. Well, welcome aboard, both of you. Nothing particularly special going on tonight. Just chilling with the Krager dog and getting some streaming time in before things get super crazy for the holidays and whatnot. Coming in smooth. Golden. Fantastic. It's better than expected. Carrie, 848, bonjour yourself. Are you a native speaker or are you being silly? Neo Seeker, may I ask for your thoughts? Currently merging a Demolisher and Hyperfire together with a modified Mediator 3-shot barrel attachment. That is correct. I saw that on Instagram the other day, and I thought, hey, that's an idea. So what's on your mind, fella? Carrie, just being silly, learning language. Oui, oui. That's about all I got. So Nathan, when will you go to Nerfed? Boy, oh boy, I haven't been able to get to the arena in 6 months. New work schedule has me working much later than I am used to, and that's pretty much eaten all of my arena time. One of my coworkers is actually was one of the other regulars over there, and he hasn't been able to get into the arena since before I was able to not be able to go anymore. So we're hoping to be able to renegotiate a little bit at the first of the year with our new work schedule. See if we can work a bit different. There at Nerfed, it's they have first Thursdays, or at least they used to. First Thursday of the month, they'd allow more modified stuff and things like that to make it more fun and interesting and awesome. And that's when I would usually try to go. And so we're kind of hoping to see if we can at least get one Thursday, work an earlier shift or something like that, so we can get some arena time in, because it's quite honestly, it really taken a toll on the both of us. So as soon as I can get some arena time in, boy, oh boy, oh boy, you can bet I'll be down there. I like your vids, thank you. And did a Centurion integration. Thanks for the help, even if you didn't mean to help people. Actually, it's kind of odd, kind of a two-edged sword, I guess, doing the YouTube videos. I mean, I will make the stuff regardless, but I like sharing because I like sharing ideas and stuff like that. I like to, I guess, it's not like I'd like to help inspire people, but it's a cool way to share what I'm doing that helps others. And I try to offer help because there's not a whole lot of integration-y type help out there, since it is such a unique niche in the hobby still. So if any of my vids helped you, then that makes me happy, because that is a good chunk of why I share what I do. Holy cow, the chat just got all foreign on me. Well, I'm not going to interject into your conversations there. What do I think of Kappa? I think, like most regulations, it has good intentions, probably, and is largely going to not help the people it's supposed to help, and largely affect, unfortunately, the people it doesn't need to. As such, it's a good idea, poorly implemented, probably. I don't want to speculate too much. According to my demographics or whatever on the thing on YouTube that tells you who watches your stuff, most of my, in fact, I don't think it should really show anybody 13 to 17 as even showing as a statistic. As far as viewers on mine, everything else is, I think, 18 to 25, most, or a good chunk of, and then 32 to whatever. And so this is apparently an old person channel, which is totally cool with me. Would I be willing to take pictures of a rapid strike and a raven with the lines marked in Sharpie to cut to make a Marauder style blaster? I really can't do that the way it sounds. What you could do is go way back in the time machine to one of my earliest videos talking about that same combination in a different blaster that I have that is actually still on the wall, where I show the two shells separate and fit them together and stuff like that and talk about it. In fact, it's one of my earliest videos, kind of briefly touching on that. And then I have another one about midway back, talking about gluing shells and stuff like that, and shows a lot more of the two shell parts mating up together. It's really hard to just say, oh, you cut here and you cut here, because so much of it, the actual Sharpie line cuts are so rough. And it's once you start fitting the shells together that you have to start kind of merging, you know, everything together like that. I would definitely check those two, maybe three videos. I believe they only show up in the or I think the thumbnails pretty much show which ones they are. But like I said, they're way back there a ways, but will give you a heck of a good idea of where you cut and how they fit together. I guess it's probably the most important part of, especially I think both videos like that shows how they fit together, which is probably the most helpful. Zachary, like that you still make this family-friendly channel even though your demographic is older. Because that's just me. I mean, it's not really an intentional thing. Like, better make sure my demographic's happy. This is just kind of what you get when you come to the house. It's just that's kind of how we are and how things are. A lot of people I've been seeing, especially with all this COPPA stuff coming out, people are like, "Well, we're gonna have a lot more explicit contact. We're gonna be, swearing a lot more and stuff like that to scare kids away." And it's like, okay, I mean, if that's how you're gonna do it, okay. Um, if that's the only way to do it, then okay, then I'm probably gonna stop watching a lot of channels if I have to deal with that kind of garbage, just so they can, you know, make it under regulations. I don't know. If I start getting the business about, YouTube's like, hey, it sure is, family-friendly content. That's pretty attractive to kids. I'm gonna be like, okay, then I'll go somewhere else. I mean, I'm not going to change who I am or my standards of the channel or anything like that to appease, a corporate and or government agency. It's not who I am. So we're gonna hope for the best and I guess prepare for the worst if need be. I'm hoping not to, because I would assume there's some reasonable voice in there somewhere with all this nonsense. I assume something's going to make sense, because what we're hearing is mostly panic and stuff like that, which, yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. How's that? I'm going to hope the best for everything and hope that everybody has the best of intentions and that I don't know. We'll just take it as it comes and act accordingly. And I will keep you guys posted if things have to change on my end. Spam, gonna want a table at FoamCon this year. Gosh, man, I am not sure what the future looks like. Pennsylvania is just kind of or Penn State. Is that technically New York or is it Pennsylvania? I don't know. That's getting way over there, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can follow the foam that far. It's going to depend a lot on how the new year comes, as far as what the new work schedule is going to be and stuff like that. What my flexibility is there. Other kind of financial things on the horizon. Part of me tentatively kind of wants to say yes, but doesn't want to plan on it, just because, like I said, that's a long ways. That's just an awful long ways. So yeah, it sounds good, but I'm not sure I can commit at this point, unfortunately, just based on a number of things. Never heard Mr. Nathan curse. Yeah, because I don't think I ever had. Thought about it once, but I had somebody else do it for me, which was a lot more convenient. Besides, I'm not sure what I'd say. I mean, like, if I'm working and I like smash my finger or something, I usually say like, ouch, or something like that, or go at stuff. I don't know. I've never yet in my life been in a situation where I was like, if I cursed, I'd feel a whole lot better. So I just such occasions never arisen. So I've always been able to handle my frustrations and anger and pain and stuff without needing to. I don't know. It's just what I do. Hope you're wearing safety glasses with the plastic flying. Safety is number one priority. Oh. Tyransteranius, long strike grip, where is it? Long strike grip, where is it? Oh, I believe I mocked this up a long time ago. I don't know if I ever posted that on the media or not, but the long strike grip that was mocked up for this project is actually attached to the, what the heck did we call that? The Tyrant rifle, which I gave another clever name, but I can't remember what it was because I haven't touched it since. Despot. That's what we called it, since it's kind of the same but different. Who here has sat through and listened to Coop's 4 hour and 45 minutes, I recall, Q&A? I spent a good deal of it listening to it when it came out because it was my day off, and so I was just kind of puttering around the house doing chores and just had it going. I guess because it's, I don't know. I mean, the guy doesn't like interest me personally, but it's like, it's just kind of a nice chat, Nerf-related chat type video, which I'm always down for. I got about 2.5 hours through and ran out of daytime, basically. How's a long video? I always think my videos are long, especially my chat type videos, but I have yet to make a 4.5, close to 5 hour long video, which apparently it's a thing, which means maybe I'll do it sometime, but probably not. Which was funny listening to his thing. He kept talking about the algorithm and stuff like that. People making their 10-minute and 20-second or whatever long videos to make the algorithm happy, and how people are watering down their content to last the 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, boy, I always have a heck of a time whittling, editing and trying to cram everything together to come in like under 15. So I don't know if that's good or bad or not. I don't know. It always seems like my videos are like 25 minutes to a half hour, and then I always feel bad because I have a hard time listening to a video that long. And so it's like, a lot of people talk about, I make content because I try to strive to make the kind of content I would watch, and that's it, like everybody's goal. I don't. I just make content because other people seem to like it, but I don't think I could handle watching me. In fact, editing is always bad enough. So it's an interesting bit of a what, Paradox or something like that, or I don't know. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. I don't know. Not overly concerned about it. Fudge diddly darn, fiddlesticks. Yeah, quite often, I mean, under dire circumstances, I usually come off with something odd that generally gets more weird looks than anything, but it serves the purpose and gets the job done, whatever. So, what do you think about the rival P90 thing? The Charger, that thing. I don't know. I mean, I've got all the other rival blasters except for a Prometheus and the other big long thing, Hades. Just haven't gotten those. I've gotten everything else though, and so chances are I'll probably end up with the. I do want to get the takedown for sure because I think it's neat looking. Charger, probably not going to run right out and grab it, but I don't know. Might be fun to play with. Unless I play with somebody else's, then find out it's not as cool, then I probably won't. Need to get safety glasses for Krager. We have actually looked at doggles, which I thought was a slang term, but is apparently like a legit deal. Dog goggles, which I thought was dumb, but apparently people use it for their dogs that go riding on, convertibles and motorcycles and things like that. I was actually thinking pretty serious and almost bought a pair, but I could never find a pair that actually rated well on Amazon. It was always like, these things suck and they fall apart. And I'm like, well, I don't want something that sucks and falls apart. Put on the Krager face. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I do want to get him something just because he does run around with us and we shoot some pretty high-powered stuff sometimes. High-powered for backyard wars anyway. I mean, I don't think we've ever. I think my stuff tops out about 160. I only have a couple of those, but still, a dog face is still pretty soft, so I don't want to cause him any problems. But yeah, that's on the list. We do want to get him some goggles so he can look cool and it'll look really neat with his tack vest because you put the tack vest on him and he gets all excited and happy and runs around, and so that's cool. Krager Cam, yes. I reckon. Can't you get like a harness thing for dogs to put a GoPro on them? That might be kind of fun. Hey, what you got? Can I see that? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Need to get a proper OBS setup. I'm not sure what OBS is. OBS. I don't know what that means. So, can't wait to meet everyone at FunCon. Yes, tinkered by myself in the garage for 2 years by myself until I found a local Richmond Nerf club in Virginia. Your work and others inspires me so much. Awesome, Mr. Thirsty. That is, excuse me. Thank you. Thank you. Good boy. Good boy. That is kind of how I did it. I spent the first, I think, year and a half to 2 years, it seems like, just kind of doing my own thing, and before I really branched out and reached out to people and became part of the community. So congratulations on stepping out. Still streaming from his phone. Yes. I don't know if you can tell that or if you just assume that I'm still because it looks the same. I don't know. Thanks. Thank you. What a good boy. OBS. I assume that means streamy camera thing or something. I do have a computer, actually, a coworker of mine has had it for a year or so. I just need to throw some money at it because it burned up. But I do want to get like an actual computer that sits out here and I can have like a monitor here and I can have like things going on and have like cool tunes in the background or whatever that fancy streamer people do and whatnot. And a better camera that I can adjust things on and stuff. But we'll get to that point eventually. Consumer Watchdog Group formally requested Nerf stop making assault-style toy weapons. It always seems like people are fighting for the wrong thing. It's like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Trico, he's going to split for a little bit. All right, thanks for stopping by and having a little chat with everybody. And if you, we'll see if you come back or not. If not, good night. Not only am I wholesome, makes those around him wholesome. Picked him up in Atlanta during rush hour. Thank you again for the ride, Homely. That was quite the lifesaver, getting me out of that airport. Because that was really quick running out of other options. So thank you very much again. To those of you who didn't know, Homely gave me a ride to Endor last year from Atlanta. So he gets like the hero hat for the day. Tyvek, do a podcast. I actually did have a thought of like at the next big event, doing like a little get-together thing of and have like the nice guys and getting like Zombona and maybe Brett and stuff like that, and just kind of hanging out and doing like a super mellow, low-key, just like, hey, everything's all right. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit, just kind of it's kind of a silly gag thing, but still like totally legit, serious and stuff. But no, I just thought it'd be kind of fun, especially with all the rush and hubbub of the way Endor is and stuff like that. But we'll see. Sorry, you guys just been chatting up a storm trying to catch up here. Wait a minute. Just found motivation to visit Idaho. Cool. What? I mean, whatever it takes. Huh. Oh, I saw that mentioned in there somewhere. Yeah, this is a. This was originally not a bullpup project. This the bullpup project is kind of a saving this project. I cut this Rapid Strike up about 4 years ago, and actually had it set up. The idea was to make a arm-mounted setup. You know, to get like a like I don't know, like a shin guard, or if there's something actually made for arms or whatever, and have it bolted through on the one side and serviceable, you know, still being able to open it up this way. And then the plan was to have a glove with contacts in it, to where the palm here would have had a large contact. I saw something once where somebody was building, like from scratch, contacts and switches and stuff like that, and it was like a chunk of tin of some kind. I thought, have a patch across here, and then have a few contacts across these fingers here, and run the wiring through the back of the glove, and have it to where when you squeezed your hand like that, that would rev it up, and then put another contact here and here to where you fired that away. That way there's no chance of having the two circuits go back and forth and you're not trying to wire in like hardcore switches and stuff. This was before, like, this was back when, like, oh, crap. There wasn't aftermarket motors. Everything was, well, I mean, there was, but it wasn't like mainstream. There wasn't all these kits and stuff like that. And so I was trying to figure out how to make that work with the motor braking for the pusher and all this other garbage, and was thinking about relays, but I wasn't totally sure about relays because my experience with relays is like going to the junkyard and pulling relays from car parts and things like that. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work. So anyway, the project got abandoned. I had a super minimized Rapid Strike that was cut down to just the pusher, magwell, and cage. And I thought, well, what the heck am I going to do with this? There's got to be something clever I can do. And I thought, you know, I wonder, since you'd be cutting all that stuff off anyway to do a bullpup, why can't I convert it into a bullpup? And so this is kind of the way to salvage that old project. And so, yeah, working on doing that because I saw the one from. Hey, oh, you got that one? Where's the other one? Did you lose the other one? Can't remember who the guy was. It was Merge Masters 1 had a Rapid Strike with the deploy stock. And I thought, man, that is the coolest thing in the world because it just eats the Rapid Strike to where it's like there's a magwell, and then by the time you integrate anything to the front, it stops really being a Rapid Strike, which I don't have anything against the Rapid Strike. It just really totally disguises the fact that it's a bullpup Rapid Strike. It just suddenly becomes, oh, it's a bullpup something. So that is where this project has come, and it pops out once in a while, and I play with it for a minute, but just have never really been happy with it overall. I've mocked up long shot front gun. I've mocked up like half a dozen different front ends on it, and it just never really felt right. No grips ever matched up right or the way I wanted them. Until, hang on a second, I'm trying to catch up here. Sorry, trying to catch up on chat. You guys are just going crazy, which is cool. I like having the interaction and stuff like that. You guys chatting and chatting with me and chatting with each other and everything. It's just a nice little community here. All right. Okay. Anyway, so wow, that yeah, got a little further we can go here. And yeah, I was really excited about the project originally when I first hacked the Rapid Strike up back when they were like still on the shelves at the first time. Just super gung ho excited until I cut everything off, and then oh, it's the fact that every time I went to a thrift store, I forgot to look for some kind of equipment that I could bolt it to strap it to an arm. And so at that point, it became almost more of an annoyance or a frustration towards like, oh, I forgot to look at such and such again. Oh, crap, I'm not going to go back in there. And so, I don't know, I just kind of lost the excitement for it after that because it was more of a frustration because I kept forgetting things. But, meh, whatever. Like I said, it would have been cool. It would have been totally novelty, but the idea was to be able to run some kind of high power Springer as a primary, and then be able to have something that's full auto that you don't have to drop and grab from a holster or pull from a sling or anything like that. You can just, still have a totally functioning hand. Because I've seen other ones where guys have wired in switches to, glued wires or switches to gloves or things that fit around your hand or whatever. And I thought, I want to have something to where I can have total use of this hand without, losing too much articulation or anything like that, dexterity, but yet still be able to, with my accurate hand. I could have done it on the offhand. I'm not sure. I hadn't really gotten that far into it yet. But to be able to drop whatever I'm using with just one hand and just have a spray something if I need to real quick, and then have I think I had it mocked up with an 18 round drum, and so it was still had decent capacity, but yet was still very low profile. It didn't stick way up in the air or anything like that. And I don't know. It was a cool idea, but it was the whole dealing with the switch, having to do. At this point, I realized I should have gone with MOSFETs or something a little more impressive than that. And I'm sure somebody could figure out the coding on an Arduino or whatever, because some people are really good at things like that. I just kind of abandoned the project because I lost interest. So if somebody else wants to pick it up and say, hey, this was a cool idea, you're more than welcome to. I've seen a couple people get close or do mock-ups, but nothing was ever really polished that I ever saw. But like so many things, cool ideas that last as long as it takes to make a mess and then lose interest, which is probably like the story of my life, I think. Which I narrowly missed dragging home another car project earlier this week. Yet none of mine are done or anywhere close to being done. Or, yeah, so. So it's not just a Nerf thing, it's just apparently a me thing, and apparently an other people thing as well. Two project cars, thinking about a third. Yeah, this would have been number 5, technically, plus a trailer that's technically half a truck, but still has some things that needs done. So yeah, it's really wanting the thing, but it was a bit too much of a project, and the guy had another buyer that was ready to jump quicker than we could jump. So if because the guy apparently, this other prospective buyer is coming from Colorado, supposedly tomorrow. So I reckon if the guy backs out, maybe I'll be talking to him over the weekend. And oh, well, yeah, I want it, but I don't. Well, yeah, well, there's no rebuttal to that. I still like to have it, and I think we can totally swing it. Having a project card doesn't mean you have to immediately sink money into it. It can sit there looking nice and just be rearing and ready for having money sunk into it. So that's what I say. Oh, that's pretty nice. Sits right up in there. Kind of positions itself. happy with that. Okay, this is actually the least important part of the project, actually. When I dug this back out, the stock was technically glued in place, just not fitted quite as well as I wanted to. The deploy stock kind of tips forward right here, and I had it kind of sitting about like that. Actually, it was right about, yeah. So yeah, shaved it back, what, 3/4 of an inch or so. That'll get it to tuck in a little nicer. That'll move it up to the mag well a little bit nicer. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. We'll go ahead and pull this all the way up to the body line here, so it's not interfering with this here in case I decide to use this and either painted something different or add a different material or something. So I'll just follow this line all the way up to there. So how are we doing? We got 27 brave souls. Holy smokes. Well, thank you all for taking time out of your Thursday morning, or Thursday night, or apparently Friday afternoon, lunchtime or whatever, for those in Australia, apparently. I'm not going to be going to Nerfed on Saturday of next week. I have to work weekends now. My new weekend, or I would say days off, are Monday and Tuesday, which are both days that the arena does airsoft and not Nerf. So, thus my lack of foam flinging since summer. So, which is one of the many reasons why I really enjoyed my time at End War and Ragnarok, because I was actually able to get out and do nerfy things. Because that's unfortunately not the way my life is going right now. But I hope for better things in the future. Nick, what the heck are you doing? I haven't talked to you in like a good long time. How you doing? Mr. Marvin. right, Matt. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. Have a good night. Good luck at work tomorrow. Gunslinger. To reiterate, I do no longer have traditional weekends off. I have to work Saturday and Sunday. I now have Mondays and Tuesdays off, which are both days that the arena does airsoft and not Nerf. So, big bummer. That's why I'm hoping that we can renegotiate things with the new year. Me and another Nerfing coworker. Hopefully, we can get some more arena time in. But we'll see how it turns out, and there will be an update on that for sure. Yeah, I like that. Need to trim this out a little bit and reshape it to accommodate the new mag release. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, not perfectly lined up. I just need something to kind of get in the ballpark for the fun part. Oh, hey now. Venue for FoamCon is going to have 2 lounges, food court, room for 1,000 people, a freight elevator, and a few other major features. Well, dang. Huh. What do you think? Do you want to go? I don't think you'd like the airplane ride. You would make so many friends. Okay. So. Yep. Perfect. Perfect amount of space. Hi. Blue Wolf, you're about 20 minutes out, huh? Blue Wolf. Have we talked? Have I talked to you? Sounds familiar. I'm a horrible with names and like name recognition as far as like putting faces to names. I'm awful with that, and so if I think you're somebody else, then I apologize. I think we've talked. Cause are you? What the heck? You in Eagle area? Is that you? Are you one of those? I'm trying to remember. Man, you are becoming a bit of a nuisance. So stop trying to steal stuff. Hi. So, hi. Oh, Tisha. All right. Good night, and sweet dreams to you as well. Thanks for stopping by. So this is yes. Hi. This is a regulator that actually was picked up by one of the other local. Hi. You just. One of the other local guys picked it up for $5 on Facebook Market, I think, and it was not only looks like it's been drugged behind a car, but also spent what looked like a season outside. So it's all baked and apparently was wet inside, like dripping wet inside. Couldn't get it to work. Asked me if I could look at it, and I couldn't make anything work beyond just the single. I think just the full auto would work, so there's no actual select fire. And so I've been kind of sitting on it because I had a chance to meet up with him again to get it back to him. But I thrifted a regulator in actually super nice shape for like $7 at Sabres, which was a good price for that Sabres. And it worked just great. Actually had batteries in it that worked. And so I ended up trading him because I was just going to cut it up anyway. So he got one that looks really nice and works, and I get one I can guiltlessly cut up. But when I was working on it for him, I picked it up and I was like, this has got to be one of the nicest grips I've held in a long time. And it's got the handguard, which is super cool as well. And it's a little stylized and fancy. Got a nice kind of hook to it a little bit, not quite as vertical, just real nice. And so I thought, well, maybe that should be my new grip for this thing, because it just felt like this should be tucked in real nice and tight and be really cool. So I just gutted this thing a little bit ago before I started the stream. So have talked, we haven't met. Okay, gotcha. In Meridian. Alrighty. Well, yeah. Are you, Mr. Blue Wolf, and also Gunslinger? Are you guys? Have you? What the heck? How do you do it? Are you members on our local Facebook group, Southwest Idaho Nerfers? I think Southwest is one word. Idaho Nerfers. We're kind of a small group, but we're trying. Hi, hi. That's cool. Thank you very much. Your little rocket missile fish. All right. Go on. Well, go get it. Don't look at me like that. Go get it. Yeah. Check out our local Facebook group. We're trying to get people involved to where it's like at least we have communication. So if somebody wants to do an event, there's a little more. We can hopefully get a little more traction, a little more attention. So if you've not signed up or whatever, signed up, liked, do you like it? Is that all you do? Whatever. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out just because. Creators like it's my time for love. Yes. Yes. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. What a good boy. What a good boy. If I ever see you in Nerf, I have a strife for you to sign. Okie dokie. I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to get back to the arena. I mean, as soon as possible. As soon as I have a chance, I am booking it out there. But we'll have to see how that goes. But sure thing. If we do cross paths, I'd be happy to meet you. Try to show up Friday nights. Okay. Hola. Hey. Blaster Show. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so I got this thing here. My original plan before with this thing was I really like this little part of the Rapid Strike, and I tried meeting up, this little what beaver tail, whatever they call it, on this thing with that, but I always made the barrel so darn high up, and so it made it look like the handle was just hanging down in the breeze and looking awkward. And it's something that I have to keep trying to retrain myself is to not be bound by what's existing, which that sounds like something I should totally not have a problem with, but my brain has a weird bias on a lot of things like that. That my brain doesn't immediately say, cut this out. It says, but this thing's really cool. You should try to use that. So, yeah. And also, what am I going to do with this extra width? Well, I think I'm just going to have to cut this whole section out. Probably come in below this screw boss here so we can kind of maintain some integrity right there, and then just pull this up a little bit, maybe even just to that line, and see how that goes. So if we pull this from down here to like up in here more, then that tucks it up a lot tighter and gives us a lot more options. Probably not going to use this whole area here because it's big and boxy and dumb. But the tricky part is that there's so little left after you pull the grip off. So you almost have to cut at least the bottom section off and reuse it. But there, come on, there we go. You have the battery box and everything. So yeah. The other question is, do I use just the grip itself, or do I use this really kind of cool looking foregrips? It just seems like this would be super comfortable if you got that thing tucked in nice and tight and you got the nice little, kind of matching aesthetic up here. But again, you have this big ugly box. What are you going to do with this big ugly box? But I reckon I need to step out of my mind for a minute. Not sure I like that. Not a whole lot of material to work with, but I reckon this weird little cut down here, but we could cut that out. That's going to be kind of a difficult thing to work with because it's going to be a weird box no matter what. I'm just thinking if we come across like this lower body line all the way across here, then how do we wrap up the front of this? Because this is just going to be kind of a thing like that. Whereas it kind of butts into the magwell here. How do we do something cool with that? That's the question. What back end blaster do you think would fit the profile of the new Fortnite SMG? That's tricky because the Fortnite aesthetic is so screwed up. Like the little SMG, that purple thing that just was leaked, would be cool if it was actually parallel lines and was actually like box shaped. But the fact that it's all flared out and what, trapezoidal, whatever the shape is, where it's all geometrically screwed up, totally just blows it for me. Like I got no time for the Fortnite stuff just because it's so jacked up. If it was square and still cartoony proportion, I'd be all like, yeah, sure, bring it on, whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start trying to put a back end on one of those. So I got nothing. Hi. Hi. Oh, jeez. Hey, thanks. Ryan, Mr. Ingolstadt, how you doing? In fact, Krieger Dog was just over here showing me his weird little blue missile-shaped fish squeaker thing, the formerly squeaker thing that you got him for. Was it the spring or was it last Christmas time? I can't remember. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you. No, thank you, thank you. When you sent that box of goodies for him, so he's still digging that. He likes the little fish missile thing for sure. When the wife away, I can play. Yeah, she's out shopping with friends tonight. But generally, she works a later shift than me anyway, so I usually have time to play and stuff. So, but even if she was home, she'd probably be sitting in the tub or watching a show or something, and so I'd be able to play anyway. But are you bullpupping? Yes, Mr. Blaster Show. This is a off again, on again, off again relationship blaster that I just happened to be playing with a little bit today because I have access to this really nice grip now. So that was just kind of an idea because I like the idea of the bullpup rapid strike, and I really like that grip. So if I can make both projects work, everybody wins. Hope Wife has a list of good blasters and she doesn't buy an Ultra One. Oh shoot. Oh, I have to warn her about that. I mean, I haven't said anything about it, but she was going to get me a Thunderbow once for Christmas a couple years ago. She was like, I thought that was super cool and you'd like it a lot. And we were walking through the store once and she's like, what do you think of that? And I was like, nah. And so she apparently had already bought it and then felt bad and took it back and then told me about it after Christmas. And I was like, I would have liked it anyway. I mean, it's not like the stuff you get. It's the fact you got it for me and you're super cool and I like you a lot, you know? But hey, oh, hey, thanks, bud. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have to have that chat with her about the Ultra One because I'm sure somebody would be like, I'm sure she probably read something somewhere about this thing's really cool. So I have to tell her that it's gunk. But whatever. We're not technically supposed to be like Christmas shopping this year. Supposedly. Well, hi. Thank you. Hi. Because she set up a trip to Disneyland, so we'll be in Disneyland for Christmas, which is gonna be really weird. And I hope there's not people there. But so yeah, so the idea was, hey, we won't just buy each other stuff. We'll go do a fancy vacation thing together. But I know better than thinking that she's going to not buy stuff because she likes to buy things. So well, we'll see how it goes. Hi. Good boy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, shoot. I like this profile. I like this thing. But I don't like what it's, if it like tapered or rounded forward a little bit more to where we could work with it, that'd be cool, but it's just so flat. I'm afraid it's going to cause us stylistic issues. But at the same time, if we have just this, fit this guy in here, that leaves this whole thing. Hi. Yes, I see it. Thank you. Thank you. No, don't give it back. If we're going to play, you got to play right. All right. So, yeah, not much to work with here. It would have been cool if there's a little more of a flange kind of thing, but it's just so minimal that I think that's going to cause us problems. So if this fits in here, I'm going to hold this and kind of tuck it in like so. So if that sits kind of like that, I still want to have something there. I want something that's a little smaller. So I think even that grip here, it's going to be a bit more length than I want. I want something that just kind of fits in nice and tight, kind of like when you grab a Raven and you have just that kind of bump up front, which is not really big enough to grab onto, and you wish it was a little bigger. I want something about the size that you wish it was, that kind of fits right about there, and even if you kind of almost wrap your hands around the barrel just a little bit. So yeah, I think we're going to forego the little grippy up here. Hey, you chewing on that? You're not supposed to chew that up. You're supposed to chew on it. Don't chew it up. You know what? I might go ahead and trim. I don't know. Part of me wants to trim this out just to get out of the way, but the other part of me thinks maybe I should hold off so I have something to kind of hold stuff against for mocking up. Or maybe I should go into the parts bin and shop around for something to fill this gap. I'm not sure. Trico, you off to bed? All right. Well, thanks for stopping by twice, technically, and hanging out with everybody. Good to see you, as always, and have a good night. What about a Zeus for an end? Another stock. Oh, phone just buzzed. I don't know if that's the wife saying she's on her way home yet. I don't think so. I don't expect her for another hour or two. But I'm gonna go wander off to the parts bin real quick and take a look at Zeus. No, we're not gonna play yet. We'll just play when we're done straight. Hang on. Look out. Excuse me. Thank you. Good boy. All right. Okay. Dead gum. It's about the right size, kind of. Let's see, what's that there? Makes the stock a bit longer, so it's about that. I feel like the grip and all that, it's just, I don't know if that's really, it would just about line up. Actually, it'd be pretty, you know, just had a thought. Instead of using the grip itself, could almost get away with just cutting it out of here, cutting the grip off, using this nice flat face here, and making it up with this nice flat face here, using the muzzle and all that. No, that still doesn't give us enough room to work with. Huh. Well, it'll be a bit tall anyway, because I want to keep it relatively low for flat topping and stuff like that. But Well, we'll keep that over here in the kitty, and think about it. No, ain't gonna happen. Okay. Oh, nerfed over Dart Wars. Dart Wars doesn't exist, so that's an easy competition. And even if they did exist, I didn't really care for them or their arena or their rule set or their style or anything else. No offense, Star Wars people. It just never really appealed to me. I tried a couple times and it just didn't do it for me. I do prefer the nerfed arena much more over that. Thirsty Nerf. Exhaustion is taking over. Sleepy time. Well, enjoy sleepy time. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with everybody. Have a wonderful night. Ooh. Finals week. Yuck. Good luck, man. Hang on a second. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, all right. Look out, bud. Yes, that's very nice. Nice rope thing. I think I'd mocked this up at some point. Because I liked how it fit, although I don't think that's going to work out so hot. Huh. Interesting. This wider section of the Havoc is a bit wider here. It looks like it could almost wrap around. Just thinking, hi, thank you. No, hey, if you want to play, you got to give it to me. Thank you. Use this wide section here to kind of wrap around and kind of tie the deploy to the rest of it. Give us a nice rail. I don't know if that's actual Picatinny or not, but I was going to use some kind of Picatinny or something. Wanted kind of a barrel thing that was a little fancier, but I reckon we're not. Excuse you. Hey. Thank you. Go get it. Go get it. And then stick this guy like down here or something. Doesn't really give a lot of room for grip. Kind of, maybe not so much. What's a little fancier there up front, I think. I assume this is just regular plastic, a bit flimsy-ish, but I reckon we could stiffen that up. might go this route just to be nice and odd. Especially, I kind of like how the deploy is kind of nice and got a lot of flat surfaces, especially when you get rid of the giant logo. This here would also have a rather... Gosh, man. You're being so pushy today. Get broad surfaces and kind of rounded edges and stuff. I think when it's all put together, the aesthetic would match pretty well. Although, I want to have something a little more going on the bottom there. This kind of roundness there is just a bit vague. Although, well, that would almost fit, kind of, as far as... Have to move that forward. There again, adding material to the front. Hang on. Hey, bud. Come on. Just get out of my face, man. Get out of my face. Okay. Kind of digging that. But hang on a second. Go back. Dang, I don't think we'd have flywheel space overhead. Yeah, rats. Because that would be actually super neat looking. That about like that. That about like that. This shell wraps around here a little bit, I think. No, not wide enough. Darn. It actually would have been super cool looking. It was not to be. Ultimate Krieger Challenge. Lay out the spare shells and see what he brings to you to combine. He actually is really good about not picking things up. Like, he doesn't eat darts and rival rounds and stuff like that. They're all over the house, and he's just like, whatever. I mean, if there's chocolate cake on the counter, he'll eat that. But he doesn't eat stuff off the ground, which is really nice. If your vacation puts you at Disneyland on the 16th, let me know, and I'll take you and the wife out to lunch or something. Love you. Oh, cool. Oh, shoot. We're going up the It's just a couple days before. I think we're leaving the 21st, 22nd, I think. We're just gonna be in there for like 2 days and then come home Christmas Day, if I remember right. So, yeah, yeah, that'd be cool though. But yeah, we're only gonna be there a few days, and I think it's the 25, 23, 22. Yeah, I think we're flying out Sunday. Is that a 21 or 22? Can't remember. I don't really make the plans. My wife does, just because that's her thing. Um, but no, I appreciate the offer, man. I mean, if it would have worked out, I would have been happy to. But yeah, just not gonna be there that long, unfortunately. Move forward 4 inches. Oh, you're talking this guy? Or were you talking about that yet? Not sure. Starsense Studio, gonna head out. All right, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Yeah, just not enough width on that guy. If he was a little bit wider, I think we could have lapped that over and been able to do something, even if we had to carve a little room in the top. Which... yeah, no. Just about a quarter of an inch too short, about the same width-wise. Rats. Close, so close, but... oh well, what you gonna do, what you gonna do? Look out, excuse me. Alright. Okay, just eyeballing this. Uh-oh. Look out! Hi! You're back. How are you? Yeah, hold on for everybody else. Oh, because I was streaming, you remember?
Okay.
It's up there. Nobody can. I can't read your texts.
Oh, sorry.
I don't need to.
Right, love you.
Love you. Thank you. Come home safe. Shouldn't be long. I'll wrap it up here in a little bit. Nice. Love you. Oh. Nice. Woo! All right. Okay. Right, survivalist. Gotta run. All right. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. And sorry, Tieback, for upsetting the balance in your house. Put the regulator grip where the Havoc's mag well is and wrap the black part around the Havoc around. What? grip for the Havoc's magwell is. Magwell is. That's the back part of the Havoc. Just find the green bit to merge with the RS. Back like that. I think that gives us a bit more length. I want to keep this as short as possible, just so it stays nice and compact and I don't have so much barrel drag and FPS lost from that. I want to have just enough to fit the grip and fit just enough of a handle on there so your hand has something to do, so your hand's not just like, I don't know what to do. So, now, I'm kind of digging the idea. It would be cool to use the grip, the Maybe what we ought to do. Well, Just having thoughts here about the possibility of reusing the cool fancy magwell detail, and I think that totally work because it only needs to be UA wide, and we are close. But using this cool kind of slightly angled forward magwell to just kind of act as a overlay of sorts, just to kind of give it a little extra detail and stuff like that, because I think this will come up and will butt right into the bottom of this, totally covering the Rapid Strike magwell itself and giving a bit of a slight flare and this kind of cool little hook down thing on the bottom, which I think is pretty darn neat looking. Actually, that might help a lot of things, because it looks like this part here will go right in this area, still give us enough room clearance where the cage is. Huh. I don't know if anybody was voting for this, but we might be cutting this guy up. That grip's pretty nice too, but we're not going to use it here. But that grip will definitely be saved for something else equally as cool. What about the front end of a Demolisher with the hand cut off? Huh. I got a Demolisher, but I think it'd be hard to find a termination point behind, just with the way the body line is. I'm looking at one up on the wall here. I don't think it'd give you a good placement to put the handle, at least not in a way that I'd really want. Just for the sake of conversation. Oh, we got here. Blue Wolf Nerf, you're leaving. Good night. Okay, hope our paths cross someday. Well, I certainly hope so. It is a small world. Actually, funny thing about that, actually, we have a new guy training with us right now that's from Montana, and he was small talking with one of the other guys that I nerf with out here that I work with, and got to talking, and I guess he says, oh yeah, the other guy that works here, he's a nerfer with does a YouTube thing, and apparently showed him my Instagram, and the guy's like, my kids watch his stuff and is always showing me stuff. And so it was kind of a weird small world moment where we have a guy training with us from Montana whose kids watch the show or watch the channel. So yeah, small world. So if you are just only 20 minutes away, then I'm sure our paths will cross at some point. But thanks for stopping by if you're still here. I appreciate you popping in and hanging out. What is my favorite car? Yours is a GTO. I do like my Studebakers, for sure. I like my Lark, a little green one. But I'm really wanting a Maverick, like a nice 70, 71 Maverick. Kind of looks like a Mustang and Camaro love child. But yeah, just a little Ford, technically an economy car, but was available with the V8 option and stuff like that. Pretty sharp. That's what I actually almost bought 2 nights ago, but didn't. but it might happen someday. Fernando Demolisher. That cut off. I don't know. Bad part is just the body being a bit taller. You'd have a hard time terminating this point here when it comes back, unless we come all the way. Just not quite feeling it. I do like this part of it, but I think I'd have a hard time finding something that filled this hole here without looking too weird. With mag wheel gone, regular grip could slot into the Havoc. Use the grabby front pump. Two-door Mavericks are hard to find. Yes, boy, there's plenty of the late 70s four doors and the ones that look like grandma cars. It's amazing what a set of doors and a nasty large bumpers make. Because I told my wife, hey, I want to get a Maverick. And she's like, aren't those kind of dumb looking? And I was like, okay, so I had to do a Google search and show her all of the really cool ones, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's different. Those are actually cool." I was like, "Darn right they are." Bobo, what the heck are you doing? $5? Hey, thanks for $5, Bobo. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. Howdy ho, not so neighborinio. Yeah. All right. Bobo, you hanging out, or are you just kind of passing through? And how are you, of course, is the obvious natural question that I shouldn't have to ask, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's etiquette. Maverick was one of my favorite Hot Wheels as a kid. Oh, that was the Mighty Maverick, the one that had the giant kind of snorkel hood and the oversized rear spoiler. Apparently, those are worth a lot of money, some of them, but I got a later model one, or not a later model, but a more recent release of the Maverick, just to kind of fill the hole in my soul right now until I get a really, really big one. 71 Grabber, yes. All right. Hello, I didn't realize you were streaming. I certainly am. Oh. Passing through as I mosey my way around Red Dead Redemption. See your super chat, I take it. Because you do so good stuff, give you money, opposite of Captain Slug. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for stopping by. And if you want to hang out for a little bit, you're always more than welcome, of course. Otherwise, good luck with your redeeming Dead Reds, or whatever. Doing that thing that you do so well. And perhaps someday I can return the favor and stream to you as well. Does weird, the garage door just made a noise like somebody wanted in. I hope nobody wants in. All right. Are you still working on the Jackal or Yellow Jacket? Yes, both of which, actually. In fact, I'll pluck them off and give you guys a quick rundown real quick, just because somebody asked, kind of. That's not what you're asking for, but as evidence that they are being worked on. Both of which did some traveling for FoamCon and for Ragnar Oktoberfest. So a little, there we go. Yeah. So, yeah, Yellow Jacket is still at Yellow Jacketing. I don't think I've actually done much anything new to it recently since like the last actual build log video thing. But Trigger still needs a lot of work to make it work right. But yeah, it's just sitting there being cool. got some sanding to do here. I just had some extra putty when I was mixing some up, and so I just jammed it in there to give it a place to go. So I got to reshape all this anyway. But yeah, still very much there. And Jackal hasn't really changed much since the last update either. Touched up a few spots here and there, just playing with things. Still trying to finalize what I want to do in this area here. Modify the top rail and its relationship with things a little bit since I think the last upload. So that's changed a little. Still need to do some cutting on the front end here to open up that to fit the sensor array for the, what do you call it? The heat sensor thing, the thermal scope, which is housed inside. So still there, still a project, still it's a project. Do I like the old Lycon Contently? I don't. No, I don't know what that means. Gladly take a Jackal update. Haha, it's the reason I started doing integrations myself. Oh my gosh! Well, that is super, super neat. Huh. That's cool. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that's a really cool thing. Like, it may not seem like a big thing, but it kind of is because it's like, oh, something that I did that I was passionate about caused somebody else to do passionate things too, and I've seen your work and it's pretty darn good, and I like it a lot, and it makes me happy. So that's kind of like a cool cycle of cool stuff, which is the best kind of cycle. Am I planning on parting with either of those ever? I have a string of people who have been asking about the Jackal since the beginning, but because it has changed so much in its life so far, I don't feel comfortable offering it up to anybody, even as a to take on or to take over the commission, just because of how up in the air it is stylistically. Because a lot of things might still change. Once it's all finished and completed, I'll probably hang on to it for a while and it'll be cool, and then I'll probably sell it, but I don't want to even consider or even talk to anybody about it right now until it's finished its life here, and then it'll be just offered kind of as is, or I mean, it'll be done, but that'll be one of those things where it'll happen when it happens. And there already is a buyer that's kind of backseat making some decisions on Yellow Jacket, so it's technically spoken for unless that person backs out when it's done, but I don't think they are. So, but there'll always be more things. I mean, looking at the wall here, nothing's really up for sale right now. Got that's a commission that's kind of up in the air, part way. That was just a spur of the moment thing. I don't know. I mean, I obviously have sold some of my things in the past, and I'll continue to sell more things. I mean, when I make something and it's cool, and then I'm done having it be cool, then I'll sell it off. But just I'm not doing any kind of commissions right now, just because of the work schedule being a nightmare and my it's sucking creativity out of me. So I no longer have near a fraction of the freedom uh, or free time to pursue these things the way I did this time last year. But anyway, Lincoln Continental. Gotcha. That's a whole different thing. I would totally be down for a what the heck was it? A 56. I would totally do a 56 Lincoln, but I was not a Continental. I think I'd rather have the Lincoln Futura. I believe was the model there. Mid 50s ones though. Heck yeah. Otherwise, beyond that, they got a bit gaudy in the late 50s. But a 60 to 61, I like, especially if I could get the convertible with the suicide doors on the back. I have actually looked at a few of those, but they were too big of a project. But my wife really likes them, and so um, that's definitely one thing I would like to get is a 60. I think it was 61, 60 to 62. I think right in there, the early 60s, the real big boxy ones, the real just boxy ones, um, with the rag top suicide doors. Heck yes. big size, yes. I'd like to buy the Jackal when you're ready. Yeah, I have no idea what its fate is. It'll be one of those things where I don't, like I said, I don't want to even get into that discussion until it is actually done, and I've been fulfilled with it as far as like, okay, cool, my heart is content. I can go to somewhere else. It's kind of like the Hellhound did. I finished it and it was great. It had its time in the spotlight, and then it sat on the wall, and just was not being appreciated to the degree that I felt it should be appreciated. I mean, it was just there, and it was like, I think it's cool. I made that, but it would be better to go to someone else who was able to appreciate it more than I was able to. And so that's how its life went, and I suspect that's how Jackal will be as well. Very, very similar. So, but that'll just kind of come when it comes. Oh, let's see. What are your thoughts on doing a bullpup long shot, keeping the bolt in? Figure out, get your take on it. Keeping it drawn back to a fair lane like 69 or 70. Fair lane, 60, 70. I would totally do a 63 fair lane. The 63 done in like the Thunderbolt, the AFX experimental car. Heck yeah, like the old super stock days. Yeah, I would do like a 63, maybe even a 64, but I do appreciate 63 better. I just like the body line, had that little chrome hooky bob thing on the side. Huh, let me get a long shot. Gotta think long shot for a second. Bullpup long shot with a bolt. Huh. With a bolt. Miss Dragoness, I must assume you have giant orangutan arms, perhaps. Something, okay, that's about that far. It comes to about there, I believe. So puts it there. So it'd definitely be a big long guy. But at the same time, let's see how that. I guess you just keep the bolt primed so you can have like that. Huh. 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 That's interesting. I do not believe I've ever seen a bullpup long shot. You got me thinking about that. Who was the guy? It was Scruffy Nerf Hoarder, whose card I have here somewhere. Right? Guy? Yeah, I believe it was this guy who took a long shot and he cut it down quite a ways and made it, gave it a stock attachment point, I believe, front and back, cut down, basically it was like a minimized long shot. And it's just a tiny little thing. I can't remember how that all went, but it's kind of bluish green as I recall. But he did something to shorten up the plunger tube, but how did he change the catch? He must have done some kind of weird custom thing. Anyway, I was just thinking some way to shorten that up a little bit so it's a little more reasonably lengthwise. Huh. Like I said, if you got nice big long arms, it's probably not that big of a deal. Or if you just want to have it just for the sake of having it and it's not supposed to be like super practical. Huh. You do have plenty of room up here to cut that out and put whatever kind of grip you want in there, because that'd just be all boxed off and open. So yeah, you could just put whatever the heck you want up there. And still have enough travel without punching yourself in the jaw. Very interesting indeed, very interesting indeed. Trigger linkage. Trigger linkage you could probably have passed inside the shell, since it's so darn wide. And just work it up the way some of these guys have been doing the bullpup retaliators and stuff like that have the external linkage. You just rig up something similar, but you could probably keep it inside the shell. Interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, never considered doing a up long shot, but I can't recall what would prevent you from doing that. So, if you do it, let me know. Keep me posted. That would be interesting to see how that would turn out. Whew. All right. Had to leave. Long day tomorrow. Took a sick day to work on getting a new house ready for move-in. Have a good evening, everyone. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for stopping by, Homely. Always appreciate your company out here. And good luck with the house, and have a good night. Mr. Heath Pants, bullpup long shot. I'm not placing that. Not placing that. Huh. Interesting. 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 I think long shot front gun towards the front where the rail is. Hmm. Definitely doing that, Joel. I want to see what you thought of it. Gonna take me some time. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting, very intriguing. And yeah, serious. Once you start working on that, reach out to me. I'd be very interested to see how you go about doing that and how it turns out. Anyone else see that regulator grip lined up with the rubber band gun? Yes. In fact, we were just doing that a minute ago, and we're going to do it again right now. So, yeah, I am thinking pretty serious about incorporating the front of the whole mag well and wrapping it around here. One thing is it's going to be a very vertical mag well anyway, because that's how the magazine fits. But I think okay, we'll have to sacrifice things a little bit, because it's the right size to fit in that way, but it doesn't want to fit in this way. So we'll have to do some trimming. Might lose this screw boss, but we might have to add something instead. But just the idea. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Actually, it'd probably look even better with. Yeah, I'm game. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll do some cutting on this. Cut the grip out, cut up into here, and start trimming some of the nonsense off of this extra bump. Trim this off back here as far as we can before we run into, because I think the flywheel cage comes down right in here and almost bumps into that. So if we leave that guy as kind of the line of don't go any further than that. Or I guess we could if we use these guys instead. I think we're going to do some cutting and start sliding things together and see how it goes. But that, I'm afraid, will be a story for another time. So, I think you're going to wrap things up. Where are we at with the chat? Headshot ammo or normal arrival. I've not bought any headshot. I heard headshot can be kind of iffy once in a while. I just try to buy arrival branded ammo as cheap as possible whenever I can. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'll do some trimming on this. Let's see, what's tomorrow look like? I think we got a date tomorrow. No, I think I'll leave this giant mess right here to remind me what the decision was and what we're doing. Where's the... There we go. Say, I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna cut this off here as well. And I'm gonna cut out of there, down. And like that, just kind of a quick reminder. And I think, oh shoot. Alex, thanks for stopping by. Sure appreciate you stopping by. Have a nice little chat. Thanks for the potential invite for the Disney thing. Sorry that timing's not going to work out, but my wife likes Disney a whole lot, so chances are we'll be going again. Well, this is going to be her second trip this year for her, so we'll definitely be doing it again. She likes California, so we'll probably run into you at some point. Proton rounds, yes, thanks, Tieback. A little product plug there. Foamast, thanks for coming back. Hi, Happy. Sweet. I'm just wrapping things up. Hang on a second. Love you. thanks for coming back. I'm just closing things up, but I did appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out for a little bit. Always like to hear from you. Mod scientist. Leaving it to bring a car to a gunfight. Interesting. All right. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We have, what, 17 right now? We had, what, 25 or 27 at some point? So that was pretty cool. We had a lot of good time, had a nice chat. I appreciated all the input. It's always nice to hear from everybody else. Everybody sees things a little bit differently. Got some cool ideas for this project here. Give my wife the best. Honey, Spam gives you his best.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Okay. And she says Merry Christmas. All right. Good night, everybody. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Probably try to stream either later in the week or next week or something like that if I get a minute. But we'll take it as it comes. And have a great day wherever you are.